Okay, so the slate of the NFL week is done, and instead of going through every game like I normally do, I was like, we're just gonna pick out a couple games because hey, some of them were duds. You know, like some of them are like a porn duds, like the 49ers versus Jacksonville, where it's just sort of just like, okay, maybe Jacksonville's not there yet. I thought it was gonna be a little bit closer, but I was like, when the 49ers got all their weapons, it's really hard to do what you can to them, and I was like, Trevor Lawrence was just getting harassed and turn the ball over, and I was like, and that showed the, I guess, also the deficiency of his weapons, because I was like, it is a good collection, but it's not a great collection. Really hasn't really been that top dude. He's been more of his number than anything. And, so going against a vaunted defense like that is a little bit more difficult to try to, I guess, work as I don't know. I thought it was gonna be closer. I thought it'd be much more of a game, but it just got out of hand really fast and quickly. But but I was like, Colin Patriots, no, that was a we ain't doing that. Titans and Buccaneers, I was like, look, Mayfield gotta win, and they were able to get some of the run game and Mike Evans back involved. So I mean, that's good on their end. So kudos to them. I was just proud. I was like, Pittsburgh and Green Bay. I was like, Love finally sort of like got back to what he was doing earlier in the season. I was like giving people a chance, throwing the ball in the right spots. Dobb had a really big day. I was like, the young receivers really got going. But Pittsburgh and their defense really just came in and saved the day, and the run game. I was like, Warren and Najee Harris getting back there. I was like, they basically just couldn't be stopped on the ground game. They didn't have Pickett ain't have to do hardly anything. Uh, but yeah, no, it's just Pittsburgh with that team just keeps on. And I was like, even Green Bay had a chance, and you're gonna see it with a couple games that it's just like it didn't even really matter. Um, like Texas and Bengals, I was like, it lived up to the game that we thought it was going to be. Basically, them all exchanging shots of the, with their offense, and I was like, they each got receivers. Even though that Bengals got like receivers we know with like like Boyd, give them like basically that giving them the chance at the very end, to take the lead or to tie it up, and then Stroud once again just being able to just methodically go down the field with ease. And to be honest, they should have had a touchdown uh, in that possession. But either way, they would still get the score. And now I was like, seeing this helps the Pittsburgh, but it also helps Houston because Jacksonville lost too as well too. So we're looking at where it's just like with this division that has the season going, that one game is going to be crucial to everybody. Saints Vikings. It told you my mind was like Saints, but my heart was like Vikings, and I should have went with my heart in this because I was like Joshua Dobbs, who's been my guy like the whole season. I've been over here talking about his praise, and I was like, and where I'm going to talk about basically is he next Fitzpatrick or Geno Smith? We'll see, but basically another game that pretty much sort of went down the wire, even though it sort of shouldn't. Like you on one hand, it's like the Vikings shouldn't even be in this spot, but then again, the Saints shouldn't even be in this spot, and the whole Derek Carr thing just isn't it isn't clicking. I thought that I mean Jameis threw two interceptions, which I was like one of them was bad and the other one was just like Jameis, but the offense just flowed so much better when he was in there. And I was like, yeah, he's going to throw interceptions, but he also will give your team like shots and chances. It's going to be exciting and going to move the ball. I was like, Chris Olave ain't have like no touches until James got in there basically, and that's a problem. I was like, they got a good defense that could be in games with you. They got weapons like Kamara and Michael Thomas. They got people that is not being, Thomas and Olave not being used like that. So I was like, but yeah, the Saints had two chances at the end. They couldn't get it done. And Joshua Dobbs, dose for his Vikings debut. Ravens and Browns. I swear this is the game that always makes me mad about the Ravens because they always lose these kind of games. The games where it's like you had to win, like not had to win, but you had the win in your hand, pretty much. Like I know that it wasn't, they didn't get like far out on them, but they were pretty much controlling the whole time. Like Deshaun wasn't really doing anything. Like they couldn't get nothing really going, and then they started getting, started Joku and all them started moving the ball, and it wasn't like the Ravens wasn't doing, and they were still running the offense. The offense was still running really well. Odell got into the end zone. I was like, he sort of looked a little bit like fresh, which I mean, you think about it, it's mid-season to where it's like that injury should start wearing like like now he's more than over a year removed from it. But I was like, but they just couldn't. I was like, they just letting, it's just one of the things where it's just like the defense just sort of seemed like they let up. I was like, Deshaun sort of just looked like he was sort of a little bit back, and then that's pop up interception was done, and that was pretty much it. After that, there was nothing they could really do. I was like, Lions and Chargers, pretty much. I was like, with this one, yeah, they were just going back and forth. This one was just high octane offense, going back and forth, back and forth. Keenan Allen was killing them all day. Eckler was killing them all day. Guyton was in there, killing them as well. And Detroit basically St. Brown. But the run game was really the key factor here. Montgomery and Gibbs shifty ass, So, but I was like, it's one of them games where it's like that. Just sort of how the Chargers been all season, so therefore you sort of take like they're a team that should win or can win all these games, but they just haven't. And it was sort of another game where it's like the Lions made it out, but I like the Lions show that they could put up points with people. I think that was sort of the bigger takeaway than beating the Chargers in this case. I was like, Cowboys and Giants, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that for the Cowboys. They don't get that. Jets and Raiders, it wasn't really a great game. This is really just one of those where it's like the Jets needed to win this game. They couldn't win this game. How does this impact the Rodgers coming back kind of thing and that whole mess? And Antonio Pierce to get his second win. So, yeah, I was like, but I was like, the game was not entertaining. Anyway, I was like, this has been my Sunday review. I was like, underneath 10 minutes. All right. I was like, getting a little bit better at this. Anyway, you like any of the recap or you like the speed of the recap? That's where I'm at. I appreciate it. Thanks. Liking the video. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, I'm out.